What's up, guys? Johnny Pipewrench here. Facebook page, How to Stop Doing Heroin. I got the dude here, Marcus. I'm going to ask him a couple questions. We're going to do some stuff, so yeah, click on that, share it around, whatever you want to do. So we came out to a sober event today, CA Barbecue in Chester, Pennsylvania. Real fun time, real good shit went down. You know, good speakers, good food, a lot of fellowship and some good stuff went down. So yeah, like, I got some funny stories to share with Marcus.
I don't know if it's funny.
It's funny now, but you know, whatever. You know how to do this?
Nah, no.
Introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Marcus. I'm definitely an addict. Me
up?
and Johnny's known each other for a while. Met him at meetings. He kept coming back though. He was definitely in and out, but he's definitely come a long way since then. You know, he's getting in service, helping people. Good dude. You know, I thought he was going to die quite a few times, but like, God kept bringing him back into my life for a reason. I picked him up from jail, dropped him off at a hotel, thinking he was going to die. So like, we got a pass, and we definitely bumped heads. You know what I mean? But in the end, you know, we're the same person, so I gotta accept it, that he's gonna be how he is, and I'm gonna be how I am, and like, usually we end up coming together in the long term once we figure out that like we were both wrong in ways. But I don't know, man. Like, recovery is definitely like a journey, and a lot of people gotta realize that like a journey doesn't just start at, you know, not using. Like, a journey starts with like changing your thinking, and like, even in long-term recovery, I gotta still constantly change my own thinking. You know, it's a constant, and like, if I don't, like, God makes it so I do. Like, when the pain becomes great enough with something in my life, I gotta change it. You know, and if I don't, like, God will take things away from me until I end up realizing that He wants me to change. And then when I start doing that, I start getting blessed again. Like, it don't have to come down to going back out and using again. Like, I just gotta, like, for me, like, I pray and I try to meditate, and my praying and meditating might not be the same as what you do, whatever gets you another day. But like, my praying, I pray in the morning, and then like during the day I meditate. You know, whether it's driving down the road or like just stopping for a minute and like accepting some things in my life, because a lot of the things that I got going on even right now I don't feel like accepting. But when I do, I feel a lot better about my life. You know, because God don't just give you things. Like, for me, like, I gotta work for it. But yeah, and there's a lot of people struggling. You know, it's summertime, it's nice out, like, a cold beer might sound good, but that beer always leads to a bag, and it always has. My whole life, it didn't matter what I picked up. You know, that first one always led me back to feeling like a piece of shit again, wondering how I got into this spot again, and how much worse it got. And like, you know, there's definitely trap doors in your bottom. You know what I mean? Like, even in recovery, like, you hit bottoms. You know, you hit emotional bottoms, spiritual bottoms. Like, all these things are constant that I have to work on. And like, it ain't even constant. Like, for me, like, when the pain becomes great enough, that's when I'm willing to change. Every time. Not every time, but 99% of the time, when that pain is great enough, I gotta change something. And we just heard a speaker, and that's what he talked about, was change. You know what I mean? And it definitely hit me. Like, I had to be here today to hear that. You know, and like, meetings are definitely a part of my recovery. You know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for meetings, I wouldn't have met this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, coming in all zannied out. And like, yeah, I'm like 60 days clean. I'm like, cool, dude. Like, keep coming back. you know what I mean? And, you know, give them a ride, like, because that's what people did for me. Like, I can't tell anybody if they're high or not. They already know that. They got to accept it like it's a problem, and they got to do something about it. You know what I mean? Because, like, that's how it worked for me. Like, my family, friends, like, everybody told me I had a problem, but until I accepted it into my life, like, look, I definitely got a problem. You know, I'm stealing from my kids. You know, I'm crashing cars. You know, I had so many things that brought me to my bottom that, you know, it brought me to that spiritual bottom where I had nothing left but to change. You know what I mean? So, like, and, like, that's what I try to remember when I feel like, you know, something ain't going my way and, you know, I can't accept something for the way it is. You know, I gotta hit that bottom and actually accept the things that are in my life for what they are. Because I can't change anybody. I can't change a lot of things in my life. Like, the only person I can change is me. The only thing I can change is my actions. So, like, you know, I love my recovery. You know, if the only thing that I do is not use, like, that's like a win-win. You know, if I'm able to help somebody, that makes it even better. And, like, for me, like, helping somebody, that's just God putting somebody in my life in order for me to help. And then He speaks through me to help them. And, like, I get high from helping other people. You know, like, it's a high that you can never understand or, you know, comprehend. Like, it's an amazing feeling when you see a light bulb go off in somebody's head and they start changing their way of thinking. Because that's what happened with me. You know, coming from, you know, going to Florida and I was still detoxing, and the guy that brought me from the airport to the rehab straight beat me with the big book, and that like started to shift my thinking. And you know, like, there's a different way of life today. Like, I could actually, you know, be sober and happy, you know, because this dude was like so happy. We were listening to Bob Marley, like, I'm detoxing, like, but like I didn't have that lost feeling anymore. Like, I could see a solution. You know?
Remember how you felt about the other A at first?
Yeah, you know.
I think most of us still feel that way too.
Yeah, well.
Well, no, this was the AA.
No. Well, yeah, you know, in the beginning, man, like, you know, my dad was an alcoholic, so I didn't want to admit that I was an alcoholic. But guess what? Like, you know, I get to rehab, and, like, I go to NA, and I go to AA, and I go to CA, and I started, like, realizing that, like, all these things got a common problem, and that's me. Like, I'm the problem. And, like, with my problems today, the common problem is me. You know, what I accept and what I don't accept. You know, if my family don't want to talk to me, guess what? I got to accept that. If my family don't want to let me use their car, guess what? I got to accept that. Like, if somebody don't want to talk to me, I got to accept that. If Kyle wants to keep sharing the same shit for 3 years, I got to accept that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all me accepting people, places, and things around me, and, like, feeling good about myself. Because, like, until I love myself, like, nobody else is going to be able to love me, and I'm not going to be able to love them. You know what I mean?
Real quick, guys, if you want to share the video and try to get the viewers up, we want to get more viewers on. If you guys want to ask some questions or something, we'll answer some questions. So go ahead and share the video. You know, we'll get the viewers up. I got a couple questions from Marcus, but we're going to start off with something real quick. Marcus actually, you know, he seen me when I first came into the program, and then, you know, I had a little relapse. I mean, I didn't do any steps, but, you know, I still call it a relapse anyway. But, you know, I was still coming to meetings, I was getting high, I was doing all this, but, you know, it came down to the part where, like, you know, I got kicked out of my parents' house, and I was, like, homeless, and he's the first person I called, right? So I called Marcus, you know, and he came and picked me up, right? And he brought me to this hotel room that I crashed out for, like, 4 or 5 days, where I was at my absolute bottom, which I, like, just barely didn't, you know, I barely slept the whole time I was in there. I had endless supply of drugs, but the drugs just stopped working, and I was just absolutely so worried about what was going to happen next. And like when he was dropping me off, it was like the most awkward goodbye ever, because like he knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like how'd you feel during that?
Dude, I didn't want to leave. It was like, this dude's gonna die, and like I was just asking God to like share through me to try to help him. You know what I mean? Because I could see it in his face, man. Like, and like over all the stuff that we both been through together, like, you know, like him crashing the car and me getting him out of jail. Like, there was so many things that happened in order for him to come to this spot. And like the one thing I remember telling him was like, fight the disease like you're in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And like I really, you know, I think I told you I loved you like 30 times before I walked out.
It was so awkward. Like he's like, bye, love you, and I'm just like, oh man. I was like, bye, dude, love you too. I was just like at a, you know, my absolute worst I've ever been in my life, and it was just weird, man. But like, you know, there was other times I'd be like, you know, sharing at a meeting or something, and he would share it and be like, dude, I thought I was going to see you in a box. And like, you know, down the road, like, you know, here I am. I started this fucking page to try to help save other people's lives. I got him sitting here talking there with me and doing the same thing. So like now we do it as a team, and it's pretty cool, man. Like, you know, I love my life today, and I'm glad I made it through that experience. But you know, I got some more questions I want to ask Marcus. Like, if you guys want to share the video, get the viewers up, ask some questions. So, you know, go ahead and share the video. And yeah, so Marcus, like, how do you deal with, you know, dealing with resentments? How do you stay free from resentments? Like, what do you do about resentments?
Resentments?
Good question, right?
Yeah, I mean, I still deal with it. It's definitely, yeah, it's tough dealing with resentments, because most of the resentments that I end up getting are because, like, I see something in you that I don't like, and, like, I don't want to change it. And, like, if I'm telling you about yourself, then I got to look at myself. And, like, it's a hard thing to do, because as an addict, like, I'm still selfish and self-centered. Like, that don't go away. Like, that's something I try to work on. So, like, you know, I had a resentment against Johnny numerous times, because, like, I see myself in him. Like, the time thing really does not matter in recovery. Like, we all go through different things at different points of our recovery, and that's why it's vital for us to talk to each other. You know what I mean? Like resentments are so rough. You know, I know some people that have resentments against me right now, and like, I can't make them change that. You know, I wish I could, because, like, you know, when people aren't in my life that are vital to my recovery, like, it's hard to see people go through things when, like, for me, like I said, like, it's hard to get rid of resentment. So, like, it's just hard to actually see, like, people being mad and not doing nothing about it. You know what I mean? Like, me and Johnny didn't talk for a hot minute, and, like, it was because we both had resentments against each other. You know what I mean? And then, like, one day I was feeling really shitty about, like, a bunch of other things in my life, and, like, I seen something that he posted, and then, like, I'm driving through my apartment complex, and, like, I see this van with a pipe wrench on the side of it, and I'm like, I see your fucking sign, God. Like, I fucking hit him up, and, like, we talked, and, like, you know, I apologized for my actions, and, like, it helped me, you know, deal with what I was going through at that present time, because God sees everything that I do. You know, like, even if I'm by myself and I do something wrong, I know it and God knows it. And, like, for me, like, even, like, when I was using, like, that's what made me feel like a big piece of shit. Like, even if I did something and nobody knew about it, like, I knew about it, and that stuff eats me alive, even in recovery. Like, you know, like, that's what'll take me back out, is, like, the feelings and emotions. And, like, the biggest part of my feelings is, like, the way I feel about myself. Like, do I love myself today? For a good portion of my day, I do. But then, you know, there's definitely a half hour some days it's longer. But, like, you know, I got to accept myself and, like, the actions that I've taken. And, like, through going through the big book, like, you know, I got to let other people know where I'm at. You know, I got to take action and like apologize, and like I really don't like doing that. But so like if you have gotten a fucking apology from me, like that's me doing some work, and you know, like it's really hard for me to apologize even, because like I'm selfish and self-centered, but like when I do, I feel better about myself.
Right on. Resentments are the #1 offender.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, Marcus, next question. What is it about the spiritual aspect of thing that facilitates and sustains your sobriety?
Facilitates and sustains?
Yep.
I don't know.
The spiritual aspect, like how does it make it work?
The spiritual aspect, how does it make it work? It, for me, like the spiritual part is like, actually letting go and let my higher power have the situation. Like I talk to my higher power more so when things are bad, and I should be doing it both when when things are bad and good. But like, like my spirituality, like it goes up and down just like my recovery. Usually, like through pain and suffering is when like I let God just have everything, because like even when things are good, like I don't want to give things up, and that's when like it starts, like that's when my spirituality starts to drop. So like that's a tough question, man. Like spirituality is hard for me to do, but like spirituality is like when I actually take time out of my day and I take a walk around the park across the street from my house and I just sit there and talk to my higher power. Or like if I drive an hour and a half to go to work, I'm able to just be calm and talk to my higher power. And like he puts things in my life in order for me to see that he's there. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be graffiti on the back of a truck, or like, going to a meeting and seeing somebody that I haven't seen in a while. Like my higher power shows himself in many different ways. Even like getting a message from somebody today. You know what I mean? He showed me that I had to be here to hear that. So like spirituality is like, it's many different things. It ain't just, it ain't just one singular thing that keeps me spiritually fit. Like I know I don't have to use. I know I could go through Camden if I'm there for the right reasons. I don't know, man. Like spirituality is a tough thing to talk about because, like, I was actually having this conversation with somebody like the other day, and like it was just flowing because like my higher power put what I was thinking out of my mouth. Like I don't know, man. Like,
so what did you think we were doing here?
It's I don't know, what spirituality to you, John?
Spirituality to me is living off of them basic principles of being a decent fucking human, really.
Yeah, well.
If I can really like break my spirituality down, like, I mean, it's a tough subject for me, but I can relate to a lot of other people because I don't exactly believe in like God. You know what I mean? I've always prided myself like a strong atheist my whole life, but like after going through the program, it's like more of an agnostic look at it. But like if he believes in God, like good, that's fucking great. If it works, it works. But like what I do for my higher power, I use my grandmother as my higher power because for one, I had a couple of spiritual experiences thinking that like I really feel like she's looking out for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool. But like for my third step, when I turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand, I'm like, how do I actually do that? But like it's more or less like, how am I living my life right in her eyes? What do I do on my daily basis? Go about certain situations. What would she want me to do about it? That's just my simple take on sobriety, on spirituality, man.
Yeah, well, like I could get with that. Like when I first started praying, it was to my cousin that blew his brains out, and then other days it was a guy that I recently just posted about, like he got killed in Camden. So like my higher power can change. like your grandmother, you know what I mean? Like people that have passed that want to see me doing good, you know. I don't know, like sometimes I think of my higher power as like this tattooed dude with like a mohawk and like he's spiritual as fuck. Like my first sponsor, like he's covered in tattoos and he's spiritual as hell. And like that's just what I go off of. Like I don't know, like for me they told me do what you gotta do in order to get what you can. Like that stupid cliche, like fake it till you make it. Like all you gotta do is start. You know, like one little thing every day could change in a long period of time. Look at this guy.
Love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm heading out.
Love you too, bro.
Alright, later, Kyle.
Peace.
See you, buddy. Sorry, like you said, we're at the barbecue. So if you guys want to share the video, you know, try to get the viewers up. If you want to ask questions or something, we'll answer the questions through the comments. Marcus is very involved in, you know, in his 12-step program. He helped me get into it and everything. How do you feel that really helps sustain your sobriety?
For a little while, like recently, like actually getting into the book was like a hard thing for me to do because of the whole acceptance piece. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like for a while, like I was trying to force my will on the situations into my life, and when the pain got great enough, I got back into the book. Like, you know, for a while there, I didn't even sit down because, like, I was trying to justify it that, like, these guys asked me to sponsor them and they didn't want to sit down. When the actual truth is, like, just because somebody isn't sitting down with me, I should be sitting down with somebody. Like, and I asked somebody to sponsor me again. You know what I mean? Because, like I got to be going through the book. Alright. But, this is my little dude. He's a big part of my sobriety. I don't, come over here.
That's his little dude.
Yeah, this is my little guy. This is Marcus III. Like, this is a gift of my sobriety. Like, having him in my life today. And, like, recent events, like showed me that, like, I gotta be more a part of his life. You know what I mean? Because, for a long time, when I was using, like I would step over him to get the next one. I'd steal his money out of his piggy bank. He's handed me drugs and said, "Dad, here's your medicine." So, like, letting stuff like that go is a big thing. Like, that resentment against myself, like the things that I did, you know, like, it's a real freeing. But, like, life on life's terms is, like, completely different. You know, like, in my program, I got to keep growing. And, like, just not using drugs and alcohol was great in the beginning. But, like, now I got to put these principles of these 12 steps into all aspects of my life. And, like, you know, accepting these things for what they are and, like, moving past it. But, like, I don't know, man, like, the big book always gets me out of a jam. Every time. And, like I said, I recently asked somebody else to sponsor me, and, like, you know, we're sitting down every Monday and Wednesday and, like, getting into the book. And, like, I've been going to big book meetings more. You know, at least 2 or 3 big book meetings a week. Just because, like, I know where that, like, that is the solution that got me where I'm at today. So, like, when I was using, I would run to drugs every time, whether it was something good, something bad. You know, I always used over anything. So, like, my new solution now is getting into the big book and, like, helping other people. And, like, through this program, CA is my solution. Like, the big book and another drug addict are, like, invaluable to my recovery. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff me and Johnny went through, like, I seen his struggles, and like, for him to even bring me into that struggle was a blessing, because, like, it helped me get through what I was going through at that exact time. You know, the 12 steps of CA have saved me numerous times. Like getting into service, being a GSR, you know, taking a coffee commitment, taking, you know, a commitment at a detox, you know, getting involved at area level, you know, public information, you know, delegate. Like, there's so many things you can do in recovery to get you out of your own shit. You know, you don't have to just go to meetings. Like, for me, that would not work. It still does not work. I have to hit at least 3-4 meetings a week still. And, like, some of them are to help other people, and, like, my recovery has to be fed, too. And that's why I go to big book meetings, because, like, this is where the work is at. You know, like, I get fed, and then I go back to my home group where there's a lot of newcomers, and I'm able to share what I've learned. But, like, if I ain't growing, these people coming in the doors behind me aren't growing. And, like that's the biggest part of it for me, is, like, seeing other people grow in the program. You know, like, seeing Johnny come in, like, still tore up. And, like, me being able to help him, like, God letting me help John, like, got me another day. And, like, that's a constant. Like, I got to keep constantly be doing the same things that I've been doing and adding to it.
Right on, man. Yeah, dude, you know, going through the program, like, you know, this is where, like, after we get our lives together and stuff, like, this is where we make friends. You know, this is where we help other people, and, you know, we start to fellowship and do, like, cool shit. Like, you know, like I said, like, we're at a little barbecue today, a little sober event barbecue, you know, the CA picnic thing or whatever. But, you know, this is the stuff that we do today, is, like, we actually have friends and we hang the fuck out. Like, you know, I don't want nothing from him. I don't want no money from him. I don't need to borrow $5 from him. You know, I don't want nothing from anybody here. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a total mind flip, because that's how I used to think while I was in addiction. Like, if you're benefiting me, that's where I'll fucking talk to you. You know, but aside from that, like, today is a lot different, because, you know, I got friends today. I got people I can call that'll answer the phone and say what's up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't get banged on because they know I just, you know, gonna ask them to, like, do something for me, or, like, give me their money or something. You know, so life's a lot better today, man. Like, through the program and everything. You know, he watched me when I was beat down. He dropped me off at the fucking hotel. He picked me up from jail once. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people in the program will be there for you. So, you know, get connected and stay connected, man. So thanks for watching, guys. If you're watching right now, right up on the screen, like right here, it'll say turn notifications on. Hit that button. Thanks for watching.